Hey, guys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Soaps and Sass.
Hi.
I'm your host, Mama Sass.
And I'm the other host, Baby Sass. I'm a very tired Baby Sass. So.
That's all right. We're going to get some energy as we go. So, let's start off with Beyond the Gates.
Yes, we're still watching a little bit, technically.
And I have to admit, I struggled watching it this week. And it's just like, I'm not...
Yeah, I agree. And there was that one thing that we both said that was like, I was happy to hear. You said, okay, this might redeem the show, but we have to see.
Yeah. But even as I sit here right at the moment, it's just like, you gotta step it up. Give us some more story. Stop giving us shock.
For
Please. That's my problem. There's not enough story. Let me start by recapping this past week, which is the week of March 10th to 14th. Beyond the Gates. Andre is still stalking Ashley.
Oy.
Doug senses it. Doug was in an accident and a house fire this week.
Derek?
Did I say Doug?
You said Doug.
Shiza.
I was like, Doug senses it. I was like,
Derek.
Doug?
Derek the fireman.
I was like, Doug,
Derek the
you mean heart
fireman
surgeon?
who rushed into a house to save a cat, got knocked out when the roof fell on him. He's all right. He's concussed. Had lost his memory for a little bit there, but he seems to have gotten it back. He is sensing that Andre is kind of marking his territory, and that by the end of the week, he seems to have figured out he had this really weird dream. We have Tomas and Kat, who finally got together for a date. She decided to cook for him at her place, which I thought was odd for a first date. You don't know the man, but whatevs.
Thank God it wasn't at her place.
No, ultimately it wasn't, but nevertheless, unless she lives with her parents or whatever.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know. I was only half paying attention, as I said.
You were.
But she does, well, and she doesn't even cook for him, frankly. She
No, her confession, her parents did it.
but gave him some cocoa vin, served him some cocoa vin. And by the end of the evening, they're kissing a little bit, and she admits that she's a virgin, which I thought was, interesting.
I was like, the explanation she gave, and I was just like,
But
relatable.
Yeah, but so maybe we'll see. I don't know. Leslie was starting to jump off the roof when we last saw her. She has a conversation with Nicole. They end up in Nicole's office, and they're talking. I don't really know what else to say about that. Oh, actually, Ted spied Leslie in the hallway, gave her what for, and then when Leslie and Nicole were speaking in the office, Ted was listening at the doorway, and basically got a whiff of Leslie's plan to sabotage him, because she kind of made it clear in the conversation she was having with Nicole. Nicole ultimately gets her award for
Psychiatry.
Oh, it was for psychiatry?
It was psychiatry.
I thought it was like some kind of civil servant community award, something. Again.
Yeah, with her work in psychiatry.
By this point, again, it's terrible. You try to give a recap and you just don't care about the story.
Because it's not grappling enough.
She gets her award, and Leslie, again, just completely ignoring everything Ted said. So Leslie's working the room as a server, and is insinuating herself or inserting herself with Leslie and her family with Nicole rather, and her family every opportunity she gets. Ava has enough of it, rats out her mother, because Ava was also at the award ceremony, rats out her mother, and
Gets her kicked out.
Leslie gets kicked out. And I'm not even sure she got paid for the evening, but that was actually entertaining. Ava seems to be getting more and more enthralled by her father, Ted, as she gets to know him, even as Ted doesn't know who she is.
I think it's also helping because Nicole is like...
Super kind.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Her only issue is Kat.
Yep. So she's liking the family. Kat is not here for it. Kat knows she's up to something. But even as this is happening, Eva seems to be getting more and more sus of her mother. So that's interesting. Vernon has caught wind of Martin's plan to run for president, and Vernon is not even remotely here for it. He warns Martin there are extensive, very deep background checks for any presidential candidate. So whatever it is, the secret that they're trying to hide, Vernon is convinced that it's going to come out, so this is a very bad idea. Martin and Smitty's kids, we met them this week, Samantha and Tyrell.
Finally.
Lovely teenagers.
Smart teenagers.
Yes. So they convince Martin to let Smitty go back to work. Martin is like, well, okay, but you can write one story and then we'll see. It's
Again,
like, Martin,
you don't control the man's
whatever.
life.
Doug, and this time I really do mean Doug McBride, the heart surgeon, is, as we mentioned last week, he's a gambling addict, and this addiction has Doug very firmly in its grips. Joey, the casino owner, was fronting Doug some money, and Doug just has no clue that it's going in deeper and deeper. Randy and Doug are childhood friends. Randy works for Joey, and Randy is like, Joey, man, that's my boy. You gotta. Joey puts Randy very firmly in his place. And so Randy is just like stuck because he wants to help his friend, but he also knows what Joey will do to him. So we'll see how that plays out. But Doug ends up even deeper in the hole. So good luck to you, Doug. And in the main story this week, Bill has Danny arrested, which we saw starting at the end of last week. So Jacob did take her into custody, and she's getting fingerprinted and all of that kind of thing. But Haley overhears this at the Uptown bar, and she's like, what? The what? She flings her tail over to the police station, finds Bill in there gloating. She reads Bill the riot act, and she was like, you stop this mess, and you stop it now. We have done enough to this woman. Knock it off. So Bill lets her go eventually, because we were like, when are these people, didn't they just get married? So eventually Bill and Haley do go off on their honeymoon.
Oh, but first they have a press conference.
I can't even, but if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
Just very briefly, so Nicole is supposed to do an interview for her award.
Which happened before the award ceremony.
Right. And so it's her family. I say her family, but it's really her mom, her dad, her daughter, her nieces, Naomi and Chelsea. And then Danny pops out of nowhere. But basically Bill's like, oh, the Duprees are having a press conference. And he's like, this is just a cover-up. It's not for, Nicole's award. They're going to use this opportunity to drag our names through the mud again. And so he has his own press conference, and it's basically, just dragging the Dupree name through the mud and everything. And it's just like, sir, they don't care about you. You're making this about yourself and just making it worse. It's like, this is not about you or Haley or Danny. It's about Nicole and her award. Leave it at that.
Yeah, so I would just comment to say that was actually kind of interesting, because Nicole and her parents were, in fact, talking about Nicole and the award and the work when the interviewer who had her earpiece in got word that Bill was having this press conference, and that is when the conversation changed.
Right, and Anita's like, we said what needs to be said, we're moving on. And the reporter was like, and Anita's like, next question, please. And the reporter asked about what I said. Right, and then the reporter's like, but what about Danny? And then Danny shows up and answers the questions. And what she did very well in the interview. She basically, said what she said from like the last press conference, essentially, I would say. Mm-hmm. She just kept it focused on her family and whatnot, and just, bad place, wrong time. And I say bad place in her mental state, I will say, her emotional state. And yeah, but finally frickin' Bill and Haley made it to their honeymoon.
Yes, they made it to their honeymoon, but then so I don't know, and we'll talk about this more, I'm quite sure, but Danny sees Bill having her arrested as his way of saying, I miss you, I want you back. So Danny,
such Delulu behavior.
Danny's like, well, you know what? If he's inviting me back, I'm gonna take the invitation. And she lets herself into their home, there being Haley and Bill's home, and just completely spirals out. Is all I'm gonna say. She just completely spirals out. That's basically how the week ends.
And the kicker, Bill and Haley are on the way back from their honeymoon. They're literally in a limo headed to the house. as Danny is having her destructive moment and knocks out on their couch.
So, what do you want to go into in more detail, if anything?
Simply, I will say this. For those of you who do not know the slang of today, Delulu means delusional. So Danny is very much in her Delulu era, and I don't know if she'll ever make it out, but maybe, Bill and Haley coming home to find her knockout on their couch with a smashed wedding picture and whatever 19 whatever year bottle of wine open next to her, and her again getting arrested will hopefully get her out of said Delulu era.
One would hope. One would only hope.
Because Danny being Delulu is not the solution.
Oh my gosh. Not okay.
Moving on.
All right. And I'm struggling because I want to talk more about the show because I want to support, but I'm not entertained. I don't find this entertainment. It's just making me sad the more I watch it.
That's fair. Because like I said, I'm only mainly interested in the Eva-Ted storyline, which I was really hoping, and I said this to my mom, I'm like, I really hope Ted and Stan were twins. I don't think they were twins because Ted basically said, we had an affair and I ended it. So it's like, okay, so you did cheat on Nicole.
He knows who she is. He's not surprised to see her. He knows who she is.
No. So I'm like, okay, so the likelihood of Eva being yours is high.
Yeah.
And the destructive aftermath consequences, whatever, when Nicole finds out, also high.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they did allude to that this week about how they worked through their rough patches. And Eva, I keep calling her Eva grabbed a straw that Ted had been drinking from, so they're going to use that for a DNA test, so those results will come up at some point in the past.
Right.
In the past.
In the future.
Oh my goodness, you think I didn't sleep last night.
I'm like, one of us slept.
So, there you go. All right, do you want to talk about comedy moment of the week then?
Eva getting her mom kicked out from the gala. Because really, that was hilarious. She, like, that entire night, my girl is like, what are you doing here? You need to go. This is not the time and place. I told you, like, this is not the time nor the place. And she's like, I'm working. I got this handled. And just completely keeps going. And finally, she's like, oh no, enough is enough. Mr. Manager, who's in charge of this entire thing, that server's causing problems. Oh, causing problems? Ma'am, you need to leave. I told you A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and you are not doing such and such and such. Grab your things, get out.
Indeed.
And then proceeds to walk up to Eva and be like, thank you for alerting me about that server. It's been handled.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because Leslie is so far off her rocker.
Very.
That I'm concerned for Eva's safety. Like, I think Leslie will turn on Eva at some point. So, hopefully Eva gets through that okay. Maybe Ted will come to her rescue. That'll strengthen their bond or something. I don't know. But
I just remembered. I'm like, I was saying how Danny's in her Delulu era. So is Leslie. Leslie is also in her Delulu era because my girl Nicole is standing up there giving her speech and says, I could not have gotten where I am without this man, the love of my life. And then we pan to Leslie, and then Leslie, in her daydream state, has a Delulu moment of her standing up there with Ted receiving an award for, I'm assuming, his work in plastic surgery. And then Ted says basically the exact same thing that Nicole said previously, but he's saying it towards Leslie. And I'm just like, girl, the man don't want you.
I can't even. I can't.
You really is delusional.
For me, my comedy moment of the week, and I know you appreciated this too, when Danny is arrested and Jacob is taking the mug shots.
Oh my God.
Danny starts acting out like she's on a flipping catwalk or doing a photo shoot with Andre. She just is not taking it seriously at all. Flashing her most winning smile, leaning up against the wall and looking over her shoulder.
Which is funny because we all know those photos cannot be admitted as a mugshot.
Just ridiculous, but so very funny.
That was funny.
It was. Do you have anything for... What'd you do that for? Or who called for that?
Danny busting up in the house, doing her idiotic stuff. But I will say, this kind of also falls into like another comedy moment, but it's when she's talking to the not security guard, but the ground
George.
Yes, and she's like, and George is like, oh, Miss Hamilton Dupree, like I heard what happened, and yada yada yada. And she's holding this giant box, which is a gift for Bill and Haley, and I'm like, I don't even believe that actually is. But anyway. So she's holding this massive box, and he's staring at the box very, like, hesitantly and skeptically. And she's like, oh, calm down, George. You're staring at it like I have a gun in the box. And he's like, oh, well. She's like, it's not a gun. And he's like, oh, okay. And then, like, straight face, she's like, it's a bomb. And he freaks out and grabs his radio, getting ready to call it in. And she's like, George, I'm only joking. I'm just like...
Yeah, but that was not cool. I mean,
it wasn't cool, but it was funny because it's like you kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, and she had her flirt on so hard. Like, you know, you hear about women batting their eyelashes.
Oh my God. Like,
she literally was batting her eyelashes. I've never seen it done. Even in old-timey time movies where this came from, I've never seen it. I was like, my goodness. That was ridiculous. And George, who didn't want to lose his job, decided to let her into the people damn house. It's like, so you do want to lose your job then, George?
I was about to say, because I'm like, that's a lose-lose situation.
Right? I think, and you didn't even stick around to make sure she came back out of the house.
Which was stupid.
To be fair, you know, later on he's at her parents' house and he's kind of like, well, and almost told them that he'd let Danny into Bill and Haley's place, but never actually came out and said it.
Right. So this has me wondering if he will race back, get her, like, see what happened, get her out, and, you know, act like nothing happened.
He can't act like nothing happened because we saw when she went into the house, there's a camera in the house.
Right,
so.
but I'm wondering if she deactivated it because she did put in a...
She put in, yeah. Bill didn't change the security code from when they lived together.
Right, so...
Dummy.
As she done said. So it's just a question of if the camera was still activated. Because I was thinking that she would walk in, the camera would pick her up, and then like
set off the alarm.
Not even set off the alarm. Not even set off the alarm. Just like send a notification.
Like a ring notification to his phone.
Yeah, like because it's like there's like there's movement in the house or whatever.
That would have made sense.
That's what I'm saying.
That would have made sense. So we'll see how this plays out because But as you said, Danny opened the wine, drank it off, passed out on the couch as these people are coming home, smashed up their wedding picture.
Right, and if she does manage to get out, they're all going to be like, there's only one person who could have done this.
Right, but based on the, you know, next week on Beyond the Gates, I suspect that they know she was in the house. Yeah. So,
like, if they don't find her physically there, they probably figured it out based off the camera.
Yes. For me, what'd you do that for? Who called for this? I think I'm still leaning with the Vanessa and her highly sexualized. Like, I don't. Why?
No,
give me story, please. I want story. If you give me story, then I'll be entertained.
Which is also why it just bugs me because I'm like, as you said, it's like the writers of the show are basically like
seasoned.
Yes. And it's very like, what? You guys know how to write a show. You've been doing it for over 60 years. I say over 60, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's like, how are you coming with this?
Yeah, I know you have to hit the ground running. And the story with Bill and Haley and Danny, that started off interesting. The story with Eva and Leslie and Ted, this has started off interesting. It's the other stuff you're throwing in that seems to be taking the forefront. Is just...
Right. It's just...
I'm struggling. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna hang in a little bit longer. So we'll see. Do you have a... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, because I was thinking... No, actually go on, because I think it might fall in line if you're about to ask me hero or villain.
Not yet. I was going to ask you what had you hot this week.
Oh, okay. Andre. Andre had me hot.
Would you care to elaborate?
The man cannot leave, I was gonna say well enough alone, which is not actually the case, but he cannot just like, and he does say this to Nicole. He's like, I'm not the type to go after people who are already taken, but there's something about Ashley, and I'm just like, okay, you recognize that Ashley's taken, good. You recognize that you don't go after taken women, good. Stick to that. Walk away. Leave the country. Like, just stop trying to constantly be where she is. Stop. Like, because you're always showing up at the hospital, which, again, I get.
Stalker.
Thank you. Like, I get your aunt and uncle work at the hospital. I get it. But there should not be a point where you're constantly at the hospital and, like, because I'm like, no nurse. Like, Ashley should not be like every time you go to the hospital. Ashley should not be there.
Shanice, is it down for this? Like, she's not like, sir.
I'm just saying, like, every time you're at the hospital, I'm like, I don't expect you to constantly see Ashley. It's like every time you show up, she's like at the front desk. It's like, Ashley, you don't have patients you're supposed to be like taking the blood pressure for. Like, what are you doing? Like, be like the nurses on General Hospital. They move around the hospital. They go places. They don't just stay at the front desk.
They're still building the sets. It's a new soap opera.
I don't care.
Okay.
So, there's that.
All right, that's fair.
Also, the photos, creepy. Again, I said stalker, creepy. This is not a dark romance.
Tell our listeners about the photos.
This man just stands off in the distance, takes out his camera, and just takes photos of Ashley. Like, this week, Derek and his stupidity saving that cat. I'm like, okay, I understand that the old woman was thankful for you saving her cat, but it's a cat. Like, the life of a human is more important than the life of a cat. I'm sorry. I don't have any pets of my own as much as I want them, but, and I also don't understand cat people, but like, honestly, like, he knew the roof was like seconds from coming down and he went in to save a cat, which is what got him the concussion. So it's just like, I know you can't replace like your best friend's life in the sense of an animal, but like,
right. But
anyway,
didn't he give Ashley a collage or some?
He did, which is really creepy because if someone gives me a collage of me, and it's like, okay, we're good friends, I get you take photos, but these are clearly like, what's the word?
Candid?
Yeah, it's like they're it's like you're hidden in a bush and you're taking photos of me. Like, that's creepy. It's not like, you know, these are photos that we've taken together in like different settings, or it's not like we're out and I'm like, oh, take a photo of me, and it's like you think like all these are really nice shots, so you put them in like a collage for me. No, these are literally like hidden camera shots, and it's creepy. But anyway, so like what makes it worse is that, so after Derek gets his concussion, he's in the hospital, Andre comes in his stalkerish ways, and it's like, so I talked to a friend who works at this newspaper, and she heard about your saves, and she wants to do a piece on you. And Derek is very clearly not comfortable with this. Like, his face is like, I don't want to do it. He even says kind of like, I don't want to do it. And Andre does not hear a word, and if he did, he completely ignored it. Backs up, takes out his camera, and starts taking photos of Derek, and Derek is just like, stone-faced. He's like, he's not smiling, y'all. The man is like, why are you taking photos of me? I don't want my photo taken. I'm not giving you permission to take my photo.
But he doesn't say anything.
He doesn't say anything. He just stares at Andre.
Well,
and then,
chalk it up to the concussion.
Right? And then he's like, oh, Ashley, why don't you get in on it? And Ashley's like, oh, no, I don't know. And then Derek's like, no, yeah, come on, babe. So he pulls her in, and they're like, so now Derek is actually kind of smiling because Ashley's there, but he's still kind of like, I don't want to do this. But then when he shows the photos to Nicole after taking these photos, they're all close-ups of Ashley.
Oh, gee, there's a shocker.
So it's like, did you even take photos of Derek? Which he did, but it's like, when Ashley was in the shot, did you take photos of Derek? Like, this man is like, I know. And the fact that people are just like swooning over him is like, he's not swoon-worthy.
Andre,
he's not swoon-worthy.
Agreed.
I'd swoon over Tomas before I swoon over Andre. In fairness, Tomas is fine. But I'm swooning over him before I'm swooning over Andre. Like, literally, okay. I know.
Have had you hot.
Very apparently. But, like, as you said, stalker. Mm-hmm. And I love my dark romances. If there's a stalker in my dark no, let me finish. If there's a stalker in my dark romance, I'm all here for it. However, I recognize if there's a stalker in my actual life, 911.
Please, no. Let's not encourage this. Eh?
I'm just saying. I'm not encouraging anything. I'm just saying it's one thing to be a stalker in a book. It's another thing to be a stalker in life. And I feel like Andre, when he's on his trips taking photos of these places, he's reading these stalker romances and he's like, I can do this, and then puts it into his actual life with Ashley. And I'm like, sir, this is no.
Mercy me. All right. So no stalker behavior. Next thing we're gonna hear, it's a culture of stalking. Yeah, but that's gonna get me on a whole rant of associating the word culture with very bad behavior. So let me just stop talking about that and talk about what had me hot this week was Naomi. She was absolutely furious with Jacob, which I suppose I can understand. Nobody wants their husband to arrest their mother. Can't see that being a fun thing.
Nope.
But it was a little bit unreasonable. She took it a little bit over the top. She put him out of the bed. And I'm like, excuse me, y'all are married. He paid for that bed as much as you did. So if you don't want to lie with him, then you go sleep on the couch. What? So there was that. And then eventually Danny spoke to her and said, listen, your husband was doing his job. This is why you married him. Because he's a good cop. That is what he's supposed to do. And your family shouldn't really influence doing the right thing, which in this case was arresting Danny. So Naomi did hear her and eventually went home and kissed and made up with her man. But she just took it way too far. She's a lawyer. And I guess I can see how you let emotions get the better of you. I mean, we all do it. I certainly do. But yeah, it just made me mad that she was like, you betrayed me kind of behavior. Yeah, it was much. It was much.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Do you have you want to start with villain or hero of the week?
Oh, just doesn't really matter, but just straight up villain, Leslie and Andre.
Ooh, okay. Andre for the stalking. Leslie's kind of obvious. All right. Okay. I don't know that I have a villain of the week beyond that. Because, anyway, it doesn't need to be said. I don't really have a villain. Hero of the week?
Hero of the week is Kat, just because of what she was saying when she was talking with Tomas, and I'm like, very relatable.
Do you want to elaborate?
I'm like, I don't know, because it's like, do I need to put, like, my business out there for the world?
No, you don't.
Exactly. So essentially, essentially, she just had a conversation. She was very honest with him about certain aspects of her life, and she essentially just said, just like, he asked her a question. She's like, it's not for this reason. It's not for that reason. It's just strictly like right person, right time, yada yada. And I'm just like, very relatable, very understandable. That's basically my mindset. And I've had conversations about it, and I'm like, some people aren't happy with what I said. But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, all right. So, was that fiction mirrors reality? I don't think that's quite the expression, but all right. I have 2 heroes of the week, I think. The first one I'm putting down is Randy for really trying to bail out his friend, even though he knows his friend is in a dark place and being stupid, so bailing out Doug from his gambling addiction. He's trying and is really torn.
Yeah, keep trying.
It's like where trying to figure out where his loyalties lie. So I give him props for having tried, and we'll see where he goes from there. And my other hero this week is Haley for Bill put that ring on it and thought that things were gonna go a certain way, and Haley was like, "You got the wrong somebody. You think you're gonna pull those shenanigans? I'm not having it. I'm not giving up my independence. So you could just put that out your mind. I'm not gonna tolerate this bad behavior. You and I are married, and why you keep running behind Danny and trying to I don't know, get her attention almost, is what Haley was saying. It's like, if we're done, then be done, right? You're divorced. Danny isn't interfering with you. You are the one going and looking for trouble with Danny. Stop it.
This is what happens when you don't move out of the community.
Well, now she might be questioning that. Why did we have to come back here? Because you had moved out. You had moved out. So why are we back in Fairmont Crest? That doesn't make sense. So I think Haley's starting to put some things together, and she's gonna bring Bill to heel, or she's gonna try to anyway. And I appreciate that. It's like, your man is doing wrong, get him to do better, and she's trying. She's really trying, because she even said to him at one point, listen, if your days are going to be focused on, getting revenge on Danny, then this marriage is not going anywhere. We can just end it right now before things get ridiculous. So was
that this week, or is that supposed to be next week? Because I know
that was as they got home from the police station.
Oh, okay, because I know there was a preview and she said that, and that's supposed to happen next week.
If she has to say it twice, Bill, you might want to listen. But no, she said that as they got home from the police station. She's like, stop your foolishness.
Okay.
So I really like that. I was like, okay, applause. Any predictions or anything you want to see happen besides get some proper stories?
Not really.
All right. I haven't any either. So we will move right on to General Hospital. So let me just pull up the recap, and I will tell you all about it, because it was a very interesting week. And I think the difference here is I was entertained.
Amen.
And that's what I'm looking for in my daytime stories. It doesn't... I prefer it's believable, but I want to be entertained. I don't need to be shocked every minute. That being said, what we have this week is Drew versus Tracy. Basically, they are arguing over the location of the family crypt, or really how far over into public land has the Quartermaine estate drifted. And Martin is regretting having told Drew about that. He foolishly thought Tracy would capitulate. Everybody's like, have you ever met Tracy Quartermaine? Emma shows up on the scene, and Emma starts streaming the showdown between the congressman and Tracy. And that earns Drew the nickname of Congressman Cutthroat this week, because really, you want to move, the bodies of your loved ones just to prove a point. So Drew tries to rehab his reputation, and he started some kind of program. I don't think we really have the details, but some kind of program with the pediatrics at General Hospital. And he has gotten Portia Kai on board, and he wants to do a press conference with Portia, and he manages to I'll go with persuade Curtis and Jordan to join in on that kind of press conference. Jason and Anna rescue Charlotte this week. That was lovely. Carly ends up telling Nina they need to step up the timeline in taking Drew down, because Willow is determined to move the kids in with Drew, and Carly is simply not here for it. Jack and Carly kiss and make up. They resume relations just in time to see Valentine show up on the scene. So, just as a quick side note, are we going to have Carly telling Jack again about dying in his bathrobe?
No, because I think Carly's going to be the one who's going to get incapacitated.
Well,
because she might have a
prediction. Save it for predictions. See, there was a story this week. Where am I? Lucas is still reeling from his encounter with Brad in Miami. He gets drunk. I may talk about this a little bit later, but Lucas is a very sloppy drunk. He's very touchy-feely. I'm not here for it. Sonny finally tells Christina that he is ill.
Didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, I was going to say that's mainly because she barged in without an invitation and catch him with a doctor. This week we had a surprise birthday party for Trina, and she ends up remembering Spencer thanks to a lovely but unfortunately mischosen gift by Emma, which is the same book, art book that Spencer had given her a couple years ago.
Which, honestly, in this case, I think this is the one time I can't blame Emma for anything.
Oh, no. Emma's not at fault. It was a very lovely gift. It was very thoughtful. So there was no way she could have known.
And as she said, it's like the guy at the bookstore raved about it. He said it's a good book. So it's like,
There was no way. There was no way
way
Emma
for her
could
to
have
know.
known. No, she was not trying to be wretched in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all.
Lucky and Liz got together with a little bit of hijinks this week.
I'm like, how much getting together did they actually do? Because
Well, we can talk about that if you want. And then the other, I think, the main storyline besides Drew and his shenanigans this week was Brooklyn, Lois, and Gloria. So it turns out that Gloria, Brooklyn's grandmother, was also aware that Brooklyn had been pregnant as a teenager and had basically helped Lois counsel Brooklyn at the time. Brooklyn is a little bit beside herself, is really struggling with learning this latest secret, and that made for some interesting story this week. And so, yeah. Oh, and I think this week Brooklyn and Lois had it out, right? I think that's how we started the week.
It's because we finished off with the Lulu Brooklyn showdown.
Yep. So why don't we get right into that then?
Right.
Because that's the end of my recap. So why don't we start with that?
Right. So, unfortunately, and I think I said this last week, slaps were not had. I don't know what it is with me and slaps and soap operas, but damn. But yeah, slaps were not had. But Lulu conceded and decided to not tell Dante because Brooklyn's like, leave it alone. If it's like, for one, it's not even your secret to tell, and it's like, and if you do, it's like, why are you gonna blow up so many lives?
Yeah,
and it's like,
not the least of which is the life of my child.
Right. It's like, don't do it because of me. Don't do it because of Dante. Like, do it because it's like there's a young man who might not know anything about this, and you're gonna blow up his life.
Right.
So,
because if there's one thing we know about Dante, is that he will rip the world apart looking for his child.
And she's like, I don't want that for him.
Yeah.
Meaning her son.
Yeah.
She's like,
and she didn't want it for Dante either because and I think that was a really, really good argument that Brooklyn made, was the agony I have lived with for the last 21 years. You're now going to inflict that on Dante.
And in a rush too. It's just gonna bombard him, and it's like, you're gonna put 21 years of agony in one shot rather than gradual on this man. So
absolutely.
Yes, so
we had that, and then from there, Brooklyn went and
while Brooklyn was having this conversation with Lulu, the whole Court of Maine crypt thing was going on. So and Lois was over there, so she texts her mom. She's like, "Where are you? We need to talk now." And again, I will say this:
I would translate to, "Ma, get your backside over here." No, that's what we read
basically. And I will say this, that these people need to stop having private conversations in open places. Oh my goodness. Because then Lois just runs into the house, sees Brooklyn, and is like, her not knowing what's going on. It's like, Brooke, like, you don't know what's going on at the crypt and everything. And Brooklyn has the look of anger, which she does very well. And she just proceeds to walk into the living room. And Lois is like, what the France? Follows her in. And then immediately Brooklyn closes the door and it's like, what the hell have you not been telling me about my kid? Yep. And Lois is like, what the? She's confused.
Of course. And then she's been blindsided.
So Brooklyn's like, you went and saw a lawyer and yada yada yada, because now somebody, he's like, Martin, and I don't even think she said Lulu knows,
no, I don't
which
think she
I think she should have said.
I agree.
Which would have helped, because it's like, not only does Martin know, but now someone else knows, because...
But thinking about it, I think if she had said Lulu knows, I think Lois would have felt compelled to do something about it, which then would have triggered the information coming out even more.
Right. But I think if she had said... But she didn't... I feel she didn't technically have to say Lulu knows, but she's like, you told Martin, because now... And because even Lois is like, how'd you find that out, kind of thing. She's like... But it's like, well, you told Martin, and now someone else knows, which would have had Lois go to Martin and be like, what the heck? Did you break, like... lawyer client confidentiality. It's like, no. It's like, well, because someone knows, and someone told Brooklyn that you know, and I saw a lawyer, so now he's gonna do a whole set of math and whatever. But it would help, because it's like, yeah. But anyway,
for sure, because I think Martin will put those pieces together very easily, given Maxie's song and dance and soft shoe that was just so not subtle.
I really wish she had said somebody knows, which is how I found out that Martin knows. But either way, but yeah, so Brooklyn confronts Lois and is like, tell me, Ma, or whatever. Then Gloria walks in, and they kind of get hush-lipped, and they're like, and Gloria's like, what's going on? Brooklyn's like, it's nothing, Grandma. It's all fine. And Gloria's like, oh, I know what you're talking about. You were talking about your baby. And Brooklyn's kind of like, like, kind of looks at her grandmother confused.
Sucker punch
like,
in the gut again.
What do you mean? And then there's a whole confrontation. And she's like, she's hurt because her grandma knows. And she's like, why didn't you say anything? It's like, because I wanted to keep your past in the past. Like, I didn't want to add anything else to what you were already dealing with. It's like, it wasn't my, which I think is sweet and everything. And that basically, that conversation went throughout, I want to say went throughout the week.
It did.
It essentially went throughout the week because it was just like, she felt betrayed. She felt hurt that just like her mom told her grandma, and then her grandma didn't say anything, and she's like, I have a vault. I know the family secrets. That secret's not out. I haven't told anybody. And you know what? We need to just, the reason y'all kept this a secret needs to stay a secret. It's like, remember why you kept this secret.
And I thought,
left it alone.
But it's interesting, and I'm debating how I feel about it. And this is where, again, comes back to story, because it's very interesting to watch. Brooklyn is struggling, now that it's come back to her mind about where her child is. Is he doing well? And in the meantime, Gloria and Lois have known all the time that their great-grandchild is doing just fine. And then we see them playing bingo in the kitchen with Yuri. Welcome back, Yuri. Brief as it was. Weird haircut, but whatevs. But, so they still have a handle on where their family member is. So even as they keep the secret, that pain isn't there for them. Where poor Brooklyn is in agony, as she said, all the time. How's that going to play out when the truth comes out, right?
It's not going to play out well because, like, we know Brooklyn and her mom are close. Like, so close. And already right now, Brooklyn is upset, hurt, and betrayed at the fact that her mom knows more than what she's letting on about her child. And then now she knows her grandma knows. And I think she's also relatively close to her grandma. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
So, for her to then learn that her son is living in the same house and she's grown up with him, has known him his entire life, has given him advice and everything.
Well,
and in a way has been a big sister to him. It's gonna be like she's gonna be in shock for one. I don't know how she'll feel happy because she's like, she knows she did get the chance to see him grow up and be there for him, even if she didn't know. But her relationship with her mom and her grandma is going to be so much more different. It's going to deteriorate in a way that none of them are ready for.
You think so?
I think so, because
do you think it'll be permanent or temporary?
In these cases, it's usually temporary, but the question is just how long will that temporary be? Yeah. Because again, this is a big secret that you've kept from both not only your own daughter, but from your grandchild, and but though you're closer to your grandchild, your daughter, than you are your grandchild and great grandchild. So it's going to be worse for Brooklyn than it is going to be for Gio. But yeah, Brooklyn, she's not gonna trust her either her mom or her grandma for a while. That's a trust that's gonna be broken. I think there's still gonna be times she's gonna rely on her mom, but it's still just. It's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough.
But I also like the way the writers are doing a couple of things. I think they're doing a couple of things right with this story. First of all, the actress that plays Lois, Rena Sofer, is doing a fabulous job of portraying the dilemma that she's in, right? She wants her daughter to be super happy, and then the agony. It's like, no, but look at how the pain that she's in. I need to tell her.
I feel like that's her. Like, as we were saying, it's like Brooklyn's in her agony of not knowing and having given up her child and, like, just questioning all these things for 21 years. Whereas Lois is in a different type of agony. Yeah. Where it's like, exactly. I know this thing
and I can make, about my family. Make this pain go away.
I can make it go away. But in doing so, it impacts not only her, but him. And I don't want to do that. And it's just like...
Ooh. Absolutely. And you know, when an actor can do that, can really emote the internal struggles or the internal joy, whatever the feelings are, but just portray that in such a way with just the emotions without actually using the words. I think that's fabulous.
Right.
And, so really good job. And I also like what the writers have done, where they gave Brooklyn and Gio that little scene outside the crypt, and Gio's like, "What's going on? You look upset." Whatever, and she's like, yeah, my mom and my grandma are asking me to do something, and just that conversation, that bonding moment, I thought was really nice.
I like when they have these little bonding moments of them together, because it's like we the viewers know the secret, so we can see like how this would affect them, and just like they don't know, but if they did know, or like if they had like a general idea, it's like, or Gio was saying earlier when they were having another moment in the house, it's like, you remind me of my mom, or you'd be a great mom, like, if I had or if like, something along the lines of like, if my mom wasn't my mom, I'd want her to be you. Yeah. Kind of thing. Like, it's just stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, gosh damn, and we know but they don't know, and it's just like...
Yeah, exactly. So I really like that. Just building the bonds between... both Gio and his mother and Gio and his father. Yeah. Ever so slowly. Although it seems to be more with Cody, which, the fun uncle, I suppose. Right. So that's really cool. Was it this week also? Or was that last week? I think that was last week.
It was last week.
James sailing off of the roof.
Yeah. This week, we know that Maxie knows, but it was last week.
Yeah, okay.
But there was something, but still along the lines of the Brooklyn baby thing, and I know we're really delving into this, but we were talking about it earlier this week about what they should do if they were to tell. Yes. And
shall I go first?
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't remember exactly what you told me, and I had a...
Okay, so Lois is thinking that she needs to tell Brooklyn. Right. She has to reveal, because her daughter's in agony and all this, and I think that's the wrong approach. I think if Lois tells anybody first, it should be Gio. Right. Because the biggest impact is going to be to Gio, because Gio has no idea he's adopted. Exactly. Brooklyn has a piece that Gio doesn't have. And so this is where you and I were talking, and I said save it for the podcast because I think it's an interesting conversation, is how much, if Lois were to reveal to Gio, how much should she tell him? Should she tell him everything one time, rip the Band-Aid off? Right. At least as far as Brooklyn is concerned, not necessarily Dante. Right. Or start with the fact that he's adopted, which is what you were suggesting. Right. Let him digest that, and then if he's interested in finding out more about his mother... Exactly. The only challenge I see with that, though, and I don't know if you want to add more to that before I go on.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so as you were saying, I was saying that she should just start off with the fact that he's adopted, because already... kids finding out they're adopted, if they're not told from a young age that they can understand, especially if it's in a situation where it's like, my parents look like me in the sense of we're the same race or stuff like that, not, I know I'm clearly adopted because I am a white boy in a black family kind of situation. So in that sense, if a child isn't told they're adopted from a young age, again, in which they can understand, you can't just be like, you're adopted, and Miss Lola down the street, yeah, she's your birth mom. Like you can't do stuff like that. You have to literally just you have to be like, look, we have something to tell you. It's probably gonna be hard to hear, but we're here for you. If you have any questions, you can always come to us like this. Like, no matter what, we still love you. We're still your parents. We just have something really important to tell you, and that is, you're adopted, yada yada yada. And in Gio's case, because he is 21, because he, as we know, didn't know he was adopted, does not know that the people he grew up with are actually his family, and he believes this. He never knew his adoptive father and everything. And again, he was close to his mom. His mom died when he was 12, so he really was raised by the community. It's really a situation of look, sit him down, Gio, we have something really important to tell you. It's gonna be hard to hear. You might not believe us, but this is something we would not kid about with you. It's and if you have just know we still love you. If you have any questions, we want you to take this in and come to us when you're ready, and just be like, you are adopted. Your mom is not your bio mom. your dad is not your bio dad, but you know they still loved you. And
I love
what,
how you're breaking down the entire conversation.
just I know
But I got your point.
I tend to do that, but that's essentially it's like just give him the basic information, which is he's adopted, and just let him know it's like if you have any questions or you want to find your parents or whatever, like we leave that up to you. If you want to bury it in a box, bury it in a box. We'll never talk about it again. But this is something we felt you should know. And like I wouldn't even like because you had even mentioned it's like, oh, should they mention that his bio mom is looking for him or would like to reach out to him or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
And
you leave that out. You start with the he's adopted.
So this is where I disagree with you.
If he asks why they're telling him now, then you can be like, because your bio mom would like to meet you or would like to reach out to you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like we didn't want to, you know, just spring it out on you. We didn't want to, you know, just be like, bring this random person in your life and be like, this is your bio mom, you're adopted, and just like destroy his life. Just
Fair.
like you leave it at that. And if he asks why, then you be like, because someone from your bio family is looking for you or would like to get in contact with you or would like to know you, just whatever, and leave it at that.
So here's what I see as the problem with that. I agree with you, perhaps not saying that the bio mom is looking. That makes sense to me. But I think the challenge with telling him he's adopted and leaving it at that before you tell him anything else is, in this specific situation, I think he's going to go around the house, maybe not ranting about it, but he's going to want to talk to somebody in the house who does in fact know, right? So he may go and talk to Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn's sitting there going, you know, and starts doing the math, and it's like, what?
Well,
I think becoming paralyzed because, like, you got to be kidding.
Well, if that happens.
Or he goes to Cody.
Right, but if but in the sense of if he goes to Cody, I don't think Cody's gonna figure it out.
Cody can't keep a secret. Cody will figure it out. Cody is not stupid. Cody is clueless, but he's not
right.
stupid.
See, but here's the thing: if Gio were to know and then go to Cody and be like, my Aunt Lois just told me this and this and this, then he'll figure it out. But if he's just like, I found out some news today that I'm adopted, he won't figure it out. It's really, you really have to drop certain pieces of information.
Sure. The best case scenario on that one is that he goes and talks to Dante.
Right. My only thing though is that really but I'm like, if he were to just say, I found out today that I'm adopted, it's like, but how would you find that out? Like, because really the only way
they have to give him a lot more information than you're adopted.
Right, because for me, I'm like, there are multitudes of ways to find out you're adopted. Being either told you're in an accident and you need to, you know, medical records.
Oh my gosh! Please,
DNA tests, like or ancestry tests, not DNA tests, but like ancestry. Like, there's multitudes of ways to find out you're adopted.
Yep.
But I'm like, we all know General Hospital wouldn't do that. We all know General Hospital would just be like,
really? We know this? Oh, I don't know.
Well, in the sense that they wouldn't do ancestry tests.
They do all kind of interesting and random things. We never expected Sidwell to find the knife that Alexis, his mother, got killed with. That was completely out of left field. A nice callback, but completely random.
Yeah.
Completely random.
Either
so, you know, if they put out an ancestry thing, listen, one never knows. Okay, before we spend like 47 hours talking about...
Sorry, that was one of... That's the interesting storyline of the week.
It really was. It really was. And I thought that was going to be an interesting conversation.
Overall, I think if they do break the news, they should just be like, you're adopted.
I got that. Yeah, and I think that's a bad idea. But that's okay. I'm looking forward to seeing...
I'm just like, don't spill the entire bucket of beans over the man's head.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. You're adopted and Brooklyn's your mother. No, that is too much. That is too much. I mean, and also what with the whole Sonny giving him the educational gift, and then Ned being like, no, my mother's right, on all of that. Like, that's just going to be, it's like your great-grandmother, you're living with your entire family.
I'm just like,
your mother, your father is in the same house, even though they're not together.
But
then you've got your grandparents that you've known, right? You met Ned, you've known Lois, you've got Sonny. I mean...
I'm just like, fallout, like, not only...
You know Olivia.
I'm like the fallout though, that it's like, oh, like we know Brooklyn's gonna be pissed at her mom and her grandma, but then it's like you have to include, but then you have to include the rest of the Quartermain family. So you gotta deal with Tracy, then you gotta deal with Ned, then you gotta deal with Sonny, and it's like,
I mean, Tracy's already saying, you know, like I care about you. I find you're an exemplary young man,
right? It's like you have a backbone in your spine that the rest of this family doesn't have when it comes to me,
right? So I think, did I ask you this last week on the podcast? May sweeps or November sweeps?
Oh, I hope to God it's May. You can't leave me with this for 6 months.
August, as you called it. But anyway, okay.
No.
Let's move on. Comedy moment of the week. If you don't have one, I have one.
I don't even know. Come back to me.
Okay, my comedy moment of the week is the whole crypt scene where Drew and Tracy are facing down and Emma and Gio show up on the scene, and then Emma susses what is going on and immediately whips out her phone and starts, well, you said she wasn't live streaming. I feel she must have been, but anyway, but she's doing this whole interview process thing. I thought that was epic. That is so today's young person. Just, it was, to me, I found the whole thing silly and ridiculous, but very apropos. It's very, very relevant.
Okay, this was a comedy moment, but it was also, I wouldn't say it had me hot, but it was just very frustrating, and I'm like, comedy moment was just Liz and Lucky just trying to get lucky. And it's like, knock, knock, doorbell ring. Like,
hi, Mom.
It's like, I brought a gift basket to thank you for dealing with Cyrus. I want to have dinner. I want to have dinner. Do you have time for dinner? I brought these papers and I will step back from pursuing you. It's like, people, can you stop?
And Aiden was the first one.
Oh my goodness, and Aiden just walking in and be like, I have to grab some stuff. I finished school early. I'm off to the movies and then sleepover.
But how nice it is to see my parents together. Yay!
I'm just like, oh my goodness. The man has been off in Africa and wherever other parts of the world and finally is back with the love of his life, and all these people just keep rooster blocking him. It's like, come on.
Could you not?
You wouldn't
Nuh-uh. Okay, I'm going to sprint right along.
You and my uncle have issues with me with my potty mouth apparently, so I filter.
Wow. All right,
filter.
so I'm going to move swiftly along. Let's talk about what had you hot, which may very well have been that moment. I don't know.
No, I said it didn't necessarily have me hot. Slight had me hot was Lulu almost revealing the secret after she promised she wouldn't reveal the secret.
Oh, okay, when she was talking to Dante?
Right, but it wasn't that. A little bit of,
speaking of reveals that involve Dante, Maxie did tell him that Lulu was still in love with him.
Like, that was funny, but I really didn't care.
Yeah.
The Sasha and Willow confrontation, that was a little like, Lulu, you are so far up your own behind, you
Lulu?
can't. Sorry.
Oh, no, don't take my hat.
Sorry, in fairness, she also is up her own behind. But no, Willow is so far up her own behind, she doesn't know what she's saying. Drew interrupting conversations that have nothing to do with him. And, you know, when Carly is talking to Willow and he's like, Carly, can you leave this woman alone? It's like, Drew, why are you messing with the crypt? Like, you know how I felt when they were doing that to my adoptive mother, and you want to go and do the same thing? And he's like, it's completely different. It's like, no, it's not.
It
like,
really ain't.
It's not different. It's like, you're about to move someone from their eternal resting place so you can do with whatever botcheties you want to do. Like, are you insane?
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, for me, what had me hot, I agree, was the argument between Sasha and Willow. So Sasha was at the hospital to get her ultrasound for her pregnancy, and Willow was the nurse to prep her, and they got into it, and Willow was trying to compare Sasha supposedly sleeping with Jason, getting pregnant by him, with what she did, sort of, kind of in a really twisted way, but trying to suggest that Sasha was sleeping with Jason for his money, except that Sasha has money. I know she lost a lot of it, but did she really lose so much that this could even be conceivable? Maybe she did, but it was ridiculous. I think both of them are being hypocritical to a degree, you know, because Sasha well knows that that's Michael's child, and that Michael cheated on Sasha, even if it was out of anger for
cheated on Sasha,
cheated on Willow.
Oh, we both have him moments.
We are. Oh my goodness. Even if it was out of anger for Willow having cheated on him.
Right.
But they're like,
the other
it's
thing,
like, ladies, come on.
Right, and the other thing that bugs me though is that Willow was trying to say that it's like, oh, well, you know, your due date, so that means that was around the time that Sam died, so you got with him when he was grieving, and it's like, the logic isn't even logicking in that one, because it's like as Sasha said, it's like, Sam, Jason, not together compared to you and Michael, who were
very much together.
So it's like you can't compare apples to oranges in that one.
The whole argument was so ridiculous.
And it's like, and yes, if he was grieving, it's like, okay, he was grieving, and if they did actually sleep together, which we know they did, it's like maybe he just wanted to know, you know, have a night where he just
felt alive,
didn't have to think about it, and just like just, you know. It's like this. Like I don't want to think about the pain. I don't want to think about the, you know, the fact that the love of my life, because I do believe they're Sam and Jason were soulmates. You know, it's like right, it's gone and buried.
Which is what Willow said, right?
Right.
Everybody knows Jason and Sam was the epic love story. Okay, but you're pulling that same story, Willow. Right. Willow is using that same story for how she and Drew got together. Drew was grieving over Sam. So whose epic love story was it then?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about, Willow? Like, what are you? Make it make sense.
Also,
why do we not have that as a segment?
I don't know. Well, we kind of did. We just changed it. But one other thing that is interesting is that before Willow even knew that Sasha was the patient, she had kept waiting. I'm just like, don't you look at your patient charts before you go into a room so you know who you're dealing with?
Come on.
Because I'm like, there's no way you said, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Both of you turn around and see the other, and you're like, ew. Because in that moment, I would have been like, for me, if I really just wasn't paying attention, I just read the notes, completely skipped over the name, and it was just a fluke, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry to keep you waiting. And I see it's my ex-best friend in the room, and I would have been like, I will get you another nurse and walk out.
Okay,
I will find another. I'm
gonna stop you right there because Sasha went to leave. I mean, Willow went to leave and Sasha stopped her.
Because she said, like, I didn't know you were the patient. The gowns are over there. I'll leave to let you get ready, and was going to come back. She wasn't going to get.
I don't think she was going to come back. I don't think she was coming back.
Either way, but I wouldn't have said the gowns were over there. Yada yada. I would have just been like,
well, I mean, why waste time while you're getting another nurse? Come on.
But still, it's like she said, you know the drill. So it's like, really, you know the drill. I'm surprised she wasn't ready in the gown and everything, but I would just been like. Again,
well, this is true because whoever put her in the room should tell her to put on a gown in the first place.
Exactly.
But yep.
So again, if it was my best friend, I love my best friend. So
yeah, I don't.
But
and that's too bad because I don't think that friendship is ever going to revive.
No, but I was hoping they'd at least be amicable and bury the hatchet. It's like you don't have to be friends anymore, but just.
I mean, eventually they will because this is going to probably follow, assuming that these characters stay in the story. This will probably follow the same kind of lines of like Carly and Sam, or even Carly and Elizabeth, where they're like frenemies. They'll bond together if they need to. We'll see.
I do find it interesting though because she's like, also the whole mom thing. It's just like you lied about everything. It's like
you lied and you'll be sorry.
But it's just like that's the one thing that bugs me. It's just like Willow, like. Your mom lied to you too for like your whole life. The only difference, but it's also like no, but it's like as we've said in Sasha's case, it's like her mom is essentially dead to her. Her mom was not like left her with her grandmother, and would rather pull cons than raise her. So you know what?
Like I said,
it's like if
there's a new trend happening. I don't know when it started or maybe I've only now become aware of it. Really. But lately, people are just reaching into the past, pulling up people's misdeeds, and slapping you in the face with it like a dead fish.
Oh yeah, that's been happening for a while.
I mean, it probably has.
That's why people got canceled.
Maybe what it is it's more vicious now. I don't know.
Probably, because I'm like, that's why people getting canceled. And you know what we need to do? We need to stop with the cancel culture and just go back to the shaming culture.
These are not cultures. They're not cultures. I tried to avoid the rant earlier. You brought it back. These are not cultures. These are behaviors.
You do realize that it has been about 40 minutes since that last piece of conversation. So I'm not going to remember that.
I don't know. I don't know. And if it's 40 minutes and this podcast is going on too long, people are tired of hearing us. We should wrap it up.
Then maybe we should stop this podcast altogether.
All right. So the next segment is, what'd you do that for? Who called for that?
Drew did something. I don't remember what he did, but he did something this week, and I was just like, what the? Why'd you do that?
I don't know. Portia? Kai? Jordan? The Crypt?
All of it.
Martin having the Crypt Keeper, not the Crypt Keeper.
Surveyor?
Thank you. I can see him. I'm like, what's his job?
Like the Crypt Keeper.
Having him to get Tracy arrested.
Which was so stupid, because just Martin being like, I didn't think it'd go this far. It's like, you told the man to press charges. What do you mean you didn't think it'd go this far?
If there was what did you do that for a moment? That had to be it. But,
yeah, what you do that for, Martin? Tell the man to press charges.
Oh my goodness. And how nobody caught the man. I was like, do you want to press charges? And Chase does not catch the man looking around behind.
It's like nobody catches these like far off looks.
Pay
it's like
attention.
No, but it's like when people, like, I swear, in the show, when they're like, they have flashback moments or they're looking at another character for like advice or help, it's just like, it's like, I know you need to make it obvious for the viewers, but I just want somebody to be like, why are you looking like that? What are you looking like? Don't look at Martin. He ain't gonna help you. Like
something. Could we? You know, a little bit like how when Maxie and Lulu and Carly were having dinner, and they're like, "What's up with you and Jack?" Nothing. Well, why you keep looking over there for? I'm just surveying the dining room. But that is my who called for that moment. Who called for a love scene between Jack and Carly?
Nobody.
It is too soon, writers. Too soon. You changed the actor. Can you give us a minute, please? I mean, you know, and I'm using the word excited very, very loosely here. I was excited when they started walking off to the bedroom holding hands. And I was like, oh, great. They're going back to the 1950s old-timey time thing. And they're going to fade to black. And they faded to black only to fade right back in the bedroom. And I was like,
I don't know why you thought it was going to just end there. I'm ready to skip. And you just like...
I don't know why I thought it was going to end there. I hoped and it didn't. And then I was mad. I was like, I don't want to see them. And we did skip. So thank you. Because I didn't want to see that. I didn't need to see that. I don't care about... No.
You know what would have made that scene better?
Yes, the original actor playing Jack.
Well, there's that. But also, okay, I have a question. So if it was the original actor playing Jack, would you have cared if they didn't fade to black?
A little bit. Because I don't want to see the sex scenes. I think the male form is just lovely in clothes. I think... it is just beautiful. I don't need to see it in a state of half undress. I really don't. You know, if it's my man, that's one thing. But on when I'm watching TV, keep your shirt on. Keep it on.
Interesting. Okay.
And the same thing for the ladies. Keep your clothes on. I don't care about your Victoria's Secret. I don't care about your La Vie en Rose. I'm not interested.
The thing is, for me though, it's also like, how are you dressed in La Vie en Rose and it's like you didn't know you were getting laid tonight? I'm like, sorry. Because I'm just like, in the sense of, I'm like, how is it? It's like, you would think you would go in the comfortable bra, the comfortable underwear, and apparently the comfortable ones is the sexy ones, and next thing you know, you're in the world of bliss.
Okay, I don't understand. I will just parenthese very briefly. And yes, if you have been fitted right for your undergarments, then yes, they are equally comfortable. I'm gonna let that go because I don't even want to have this conversation with you right now. Oh my goodness. It's like, TV is scandalous enough. I don't need my child scandalizing me. Come on, lady. Okay. Your villain of the week. Or do you?
I was just gonna say, it shows just how much I love and trust you with these conversations.
Sure, not on a podcast. Villain of the week. Or do you want to go hero first?
I don't have a villain.
Oh, okay. Well, let me jump
hero.
right in because I actually have a different hero and I forgot to write it down. But villain of the week for me is Ava Jerome / Rick, but mostly Ava.
Oh, was it the?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
Yes, it was. Ava, can you be a little more vindictive? Seriously. Like, I know you want time with your daughter. You now have your 50-50 custody. Christina was planning to take Avery to the ballet. And then Rick comes along and tells Christina, you can't go because that's Ava's time. So, suck it. And then Christina's like, no, but I had to work very hard to get these tickets. And frankly, Christina, that is your bad. That is 100% your bad. Why you would presume that you could take Ava's time and take your sister somewhere, that is your mistake. I am sorry.
Isn't it possible that she had this planned out from before they got?
It's possible.
Because if that's the case, then I'd be like, okay, it's not Christine's bad. She didn't know that this was going to be the arrangement.
It's possible, but they didn't say that.
They didn't.
They did not say that. It sounded like she got these very last minute. And then Ava's like, no. Right? Christina goes over to Ava's house because we didn't learn our lesson the first time going to confront Ava somewhere. Goes over to Ava's house to confront her and like, how vindictive and nasty can you be, and why would you break Avery's heart, which really is the crux of the matter. You know, Avery was surely excited to be going to the ballet with her sister, not just the ballet, but with her sister. And then Ava's like, oh, you mistake me, she's still going, but she ain't going with you, she's going with me. So it's petty for no reason. Well, I mean, there's a reason. There's clearly a reason, but it wasn't very nice, and so I think that was very villainous because I think it will upset Avery that she's missing out on this opportunity with her sister. I do think that.
I'm quickly going to backtrack because now that you actually mentioned Christina, it's like, what did you do that for? Was Christina just taking Rocco, going over to Sonny's new place, and showing up unannounced? Because I'm like, this man with his security is like, how do you have a key? I'm pretty sure you didn't have a key.
She didn't have a key. She just unlocked the door.
No, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure. But she might have been holding her car keys. But my point is like, I'm pretty sure when your dad was living in this penthouse, you knocked. You didn't just.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Well, you had to knock because there was a guard at the door.
Oh, I didn't see no guard.
And the guard would like knock and say, your daughter's here to see you.
Oh, right.
Knock. So-and-so is here to see you.
It's like, thanks, Frank.
Right?
Where's Frank? He's standing outside the door.
You know where Frank is? He's off of Max and Milo.
Bring them back.
Right? What happened to them?
Because you know what? Poor Diane. She needs Max back in her life.
Yep.
That man was a good man to her.
Yes.
And they only broke up because Max left. At least I think that was.
I think that's why they broke up. We never really heard.
Bring Max back.
All right. Did you say you had a hero of the week or you didn't?
No.
Okay. I remembered who my hero was. I did have Valentine because.
Oh, Charlotte.
Right. Exactly. He messaged Rocco to get Lou to come and get Charlotte and put his daughter's safety first. So that was originally my hero. But no, actually, I'm going to pick somebody completely random for my hero of the week. And I don't actually remember what his name was. I don't remember if it was Diego or Mario or Marco.
Oh, that random man.
The random man that Lucas met in the bar.
Nope.
And was touching up.
Nope.
And I'm going to give him, what, no.
I say no, just not because, I say no, not because he's not your hero. But no, it's just like, there's this random man at the bar, and I'm just like, I am not going to make assumptions on his sexuality, but Lucas then runs ahead towards the rainbow and starts making out with the man. It's like, sorry, it was random. Just random. It's just like, full speed ahead, and just starts kissing the man. I don't know. It's like,
I don't even know what to say to you.
Like, did he give you signs? Did he give you any sign that he was interested in you? Like, did he just, was your hand on the counter and he just touched your hand and just caressed it with his thumb, or did he rest his hand on your arm and gaze in interestedly in your eyes to give you any signs? Because I didn't see that, so I'm like, how are you just gonna go assume?
This this is where I said earlier, Lucas is, I don't know if I said he's a sloppy drunk, but he's touchy-feely.
You said that.
He's touchy-feely when he's drunk, and I don't like it. No. And he was touching up this man the whole time, so perhaps he took that as a sign because the man did not pull his arm away.
I'm like,
that's the only thing I could give you.
I'm like, you spill your entire life to this man who you do not know, and then you start to make out with this man. I'm like, if I was at a bar and some man who's having his woes, just empties his heart out to me, I'm not gonna be, it's okay, there, caress his hand. No, I'm just gonna be there like, that sucks. Probably give the same advice that, Mr. Sir was giving Lucas, but if he starts to lean into, put his lips per mine, that's a slap waiting to happen. It's like, you are not about to assault me in your drunken state.
Well, this is it. But nevertheless, I guess that had you hot as well. Nevertheless, this random man, I think his name is Mario, because that's what I wrote at the time, but I also put Marco. But anyways, so this random man in Miami who is listening to Lucas
that makes it so much worse if it's Marco. Sorry,
Can I continue? Because you've just gone a place that has nothing to do with anything. So I'm just going to ignore you and continue and explain why I think Mario, is what I'm going to call him, is the hero of the week. Because Lucas lays out the whole story of him and Brad, and Mario actually sees Brad's perspective and says, how much must this man have loved you to do something so absolutely ridiculous? And I thought, bravo, sir, helping him see the other side. And that was cool. Now, I'm going to put a caveat, and I'm going to go right into predictions, because Mario is sus.
Thank you.
Mario is very sus.
That's the other reason I'm like, why are you kissing this man?
Mario is very sus as far as I'm concerned. And so, they ended that encounter with Mario talking about, how about you give me your room key or something like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Is Lucas getting robbed? Is he getting beat? Is he getting set up for something in the future? Like, is this guy somehow associated with Selena in some way? I don't know what the story is, but I don't trust that this is a one and done.
No.
I do not.
No. Because already it was sus that his card was on the floor, it got picked up, and he's like, oh, I was looking for that.
Right?
Like, you knew the card he picked up just happened to be yours. Secondly, already his face, already just the man himself, not even the person, because we don't know the actor, we don't know the character. I'm like, already just you as a physical being in the space looked sus, and then you're like, oh, I'm a lawyer. I'm like,
who's a lawyer?
He's a lawyer.
Is he?
He works for a law firm.
I missed that.
And he said he was there in town for a client.
I totally missed that.
So, but if he's a lawyer, maybe he's replacing Scotty. Even though technically we brought Rick in to replace Scotty, but
Rick. I don't think Rick is there long term. But hey, but Mario's showing up in Port Charles. Okay, but right now he's sus. For me,
on a level.
I don't know what's up with that.
On a level.
But already I'm intrigued.
Already, if also hit the sus mustache.
Pardon?
The mustache he has is already sus. I'm like,
the 5 o'clock shadow mustache. Well, this is the way I remember it.
I thought it looked like a full mustache, but I was like, the man
could be. But I will say this: if it's one and done, great. If this is a setup for something else,
imagine Brad coming to the rescue.
For sure, because Brad works out. We saw the guns, but no. Even if he's brought into Port Charles into the story, I'm okay for it because they have already set up the intrigue. They have looped him into the story. I'm interested. What happened?
I'm sorry. The man just magically out of nowhere kissed this man.
This is so out of order.
And just like, he did not give you any signals.
No, he did not that we saw. Excuse me, not that we saw at all.
I'm like, he's a lawyer.
All right, so beyond that, do you have any other predictions?
Aside from the fact that I think Carly might get knocked out and incapacitated because of Valentine and his. Because honestly, I'm like, Valentine, you already shipped your daughter off back to Port Charles. Why are you here now? Like, I don't understand.
Because the WSB busted into the house where he was.
They said it wasn't him. So they said,
I know they said it wasn't Jack, but nevertheless.
And also, he knew that Jack had a hit on him, and he could have gone back to Port Charles at any point in time. So
yes, he did. But so he's probably going back now that he doesn't have Charlotte until he can do that, and like figure out who's after me and get them to call it off because I'm ready for Valentine to come back.
Either way, so I think Carly gonna become the one incapacitated.
But what I'm saying is, if that happens, ooh, this rivalry is going to spice up. Hello.
Here's the thing. Imagine Carly takes a drink of that champagne before she heads to the bathroom again. And, you know, she's like, something ain't right. So she's like, she realizes something's wrong. Either falls to her knees or whatever. Tries to grab the phone and either sees something about Jocelyn on it. The question is, if don't smack that table.
I'm not gonna smack the table, but
it's like either she'll see it, kind of pass out, and think she was dreaming, or you know, she'll forget about, or because I was so hoping this. They called for room service. He went to the shower. She's like, someone's gotta get the room service, and then the phone rang, or she reached for the wrong phone because everybody got the same damn phone case. So they can't telephone. I don't know how you telephones apart if you got the same phone case. But anyway, so it's like they pick up the wrong phone, and lo and behold, she sees Jocelyn Jacks, like marksmanship, fitness, and then he comes out the shower, sees her getting dressed, and is like, "What? And then is totally mad because you got her daughter conscripted into the WSB.
There is reckoning finna be reckoned.
And I was like, it's one thing because I'm like, you hadn't slept with him yet. It's all good. Nothing bad can happen if you find out that Joss has been conscripted into the WSB. Now you slept with him.
Yep.
So now you're gonna find out that Joss is in the WSB and you're gonna be
There is reckoning to be reckoned. I'm still hoping that Jerry Jacks gets wind of this somehow, and you know, come on, just can we bring back Sebastian Roche? What's he doing?
He's playing angels.
No, that's done, isn't it?
Supernatural? Apparently, we're getting another season. I don't know about that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, as I'm sitting here, how much time we have left in the podcast?
We're 20 minutes over.
Oh, all right. Well, it was great talking to y'all. I'm gonna go wash out my daughter's mouth with some soap, and we will talk to you all next week, where we will have a little bit more soap
and a hell of a lot more times. By the way, she's gonna try and wash my mouth out with soap. It ain't gonna work.
We'll see.